kind of an art event. So there I am, Gloria Laravide, Sculptures by. And the next bit of news was that I had earned a diving fish sculpture award at Westmoreland Arts and Heritage Festival in Twin Lakes Road, Latrobe, Pennsylvania in 1992. So I was acknowledged for my sculpture, the diving fish. When they returned it, it came broken, and I think they did pay me some money, and then I took it to an artist friend, and when he fixed it, it wasn't the exact same way, so it wasn't a diving fish anymore. The poor man. Anyways, he's such an angel. I didn't want to say anything, but the pictures that I had taken of that were no more, they weren't valid anymore because it didn't look the same way. So I wasn't really able to do anything with that sculpture after that. And I didn't retake photographs of it. So, and somebody already has it in their home, so I just kind of gave up on that. Anyways, when I went to the UK, I started drawing my daughter because I was kind of living in her dormitory. And it was very expensive over there, and us poor Americans couldn't afford for me to be there without kind of living somewhere where we were already paying. But anyways, so I took some graphite and some very gnarly newsprint, which I got for £1, and boy was it gnarly. It had been rolled up forever, so by the time I got it, it was not in good shape. But I did what I could with the little bit of money that I had, and I just started drawing pictures of her. And it's kind of hard to take these images off of this backlit device. But anyways, so this is an attempt at trying to capture the drawings that I made of her using this phone and the backlit screen, which is an interesting process. So there she is. She was a very good model while she was sleeping, I must say. And I kind of wanted to start drawing everybody that was sleeping, including all the hobos on the street, or as others would say, homeless people. In the UK, the homeless are very different than they are here in the United States. They're usually people who have addictions, and because they have such a nanny state to them, just like in California, people can get homes. If they go out of their way a little bit, they can get a home and a place to live. But if they're hopped up on and if they're addicted to something, if they're not in their right minds, then they can't really help themselves. So those are the people that are without a home in the UK and in California. There's a lot of similarities to both places that way. Because there is plenty of help for people who are going to go to social services to try to get it. So anyways, those drawings were very hard to see, even not through the computer or through a phone. So, because they were so hard to see, I decided I would make use of the acrylics that I found that had been tossed by students into the trash. And I had some Q-tips, and I used the Q-tips as paintbrush. And I just used those 4 different colors that I had. I think it was yellow, red, blue, and I forget what else. Black? So I had those few colors and some Q-tips. So I thought I would just start coloring those images since they were so difficult to see. This one gave me a lot of trouble. It wasn't the best image already. It's kind of hard to draw somebody hiding underneath the cloth. Been trying to get that cloth right, and as you can see, I'm not good with wrinkles, cloth wrinkles. I need to take a class just on cloth wrinkles and folds in cloth, which they do actually give classes on. So I need to take a class in that. But here you see the oh, and I had a charcoal pencil, which was terrible. I had never used it before. I was used to vine charcoal, and here was this hard charcoal pencil. So my lines, it was hard for me to get really good lines like I did with the vine. But, you know, I don't think they turned out too bad, but here we go. Here they are in color. And there they are without color. And here are a few more I probably did towards the end that I didn't get a chance to paint. I'm not sure if I got a chance to paint those. But she was a very good model for me, and I appreciate her for so many different reasons. My kids. This was the youngest. And while I was there, I did a lot of research on homelessness. Before I went to the UK, I did a lot of research on homelessness. And I studied that in Philadelphia and in a couple of other places, because let's face it, the US has a lot of homelessness, and California too, but they also have 40% of the veterans, and a lot of these veterans will come back pretty traumatized. So this is a picture of an iguana poking his head through a window of a hostel I used to live at in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale. And here I put him in the snow. I don't know if you can see the snow falling around and on him and everything else in the background. But I was just playing around with Photoshop because I got a lot of practice from class while I was in school. And this is another boss that I had, actually, relative of a boss. This is really hard to see. But these two ladies, I got pictures of them while they were in Florida, and they were supposed to go on a trip, and one of them had gotten cancer, and she was stuck in the hospital, and so their trip had to be postponed. And so I was supposed to create an album with pictures of the two of them photoshopped into their trip to the UK. And luckily, I'd just come back from the UK, so I had a ton of pictures of the UK, of Scotland and England, and I used all of that content, which was mine, and I photoshopped them and had them do a nice trip to St. Paul, across the walking bridge, getting out of the airplane, in the airport, and there they took their trip. And it was a really nice job for me. I felt like it was a very beautiful job, very spiritual. I was helping somebody to create a lasting dream that they didn't get a chance to live. Maybe after she got out of the hospital they were able to go, but I don't know those details because she was only my boss for the duration of the job. So those are the jobs that I did through freelanced and through the other one. What's the other one called? It'll come to me. But now one of them is turned into Upwork, and that's where I am now, on Upwork. This is a very cool photograph. Looking down into the water, on the right, you will see the pier. One of the wooden poles of a pier. Actually, it's a bridge in the Murakami Japanese garden. And through the water, underneath the water, you can see debris of leaves and other things, and even that post going down into the water. But then on the surface, you see the reflection of what's above, and even what's directly above, like those green leaves on the left side, and the reflection of the sun. And you can see the sun going through the water to light, to reveal what's underneath the surface. So this is actually one of my favorite photographs. I don't know why I keep pulling it away, scrolling up, when that's a very cool picture. Murakami had some really good places. Our teacher, my photography teacher, who also did work with us, she also taught me layout. Yeah. Was that her? I don't know. She taught me photography, and she taught me, yes, how to do layout. Because she used to do that in her business. She used to put together magazines, and she used to take pictures for the big liquor industries. What are they? Bacardi. Thompson. Her name was Thompson, and she was a terrific photography teacher. She was really dynamite. I had some really good teachers at the Art Institute. I think there's only one that didn't do a terrific job, but the rest of them were all spot on. I really recommend that school. I don't know if it's still around, but she taught us with the tripod. She taught us how to shoot water, falling water, and we went into an old monastery in Florida where she taught us how to use the open shutter to take pictures of things in very dark places. These are some comics that I made for class. I'll just give you the titles. One Day in Foster Care, One Day in Jail, One Day at Work, and I don't really remember what the gist of it was, but I think they were kind of hits on how our government could improve these people's situations. How after 18 years of age, the people in foster care are pretty much left in the street. Not so in California. They take care of them even after 18 in different ways. Here, One Day in Jail, how these guys that leave jail don't really have anything to look forward to. They have to kind of make things work on their own, and they don't have any re-entry help. And then One Day at Work, and this is, I don't know what the government said. 80% of the homeless are single. 46% of the homeless are white. And what is this? 84% of the homeless are black. 10% are Latino, Haitian, Native American, Asian. I don't know. I think I was just indicating some things that looked a little off in my research.